and he showed inimitable courage and conviction in freeing our people from enslavement of drugs. Rizal gave up his life that the Filipino will be free from all species of slavery. For determination and unbending adherence to his duty as president and to achieve Rizal's dream of a nation ruled by virtue and with peace and prosperity. Determined and unbending in the fulfillment of his oath and obligation as president, Sir Duterte steadfastly upholds the interests of the people over and above everything. In turn, the people gave him their faith and bestowed on him an extra high acceptance rating that continues to the day despite often undeserved criticism. This confidence inspires Sir Duterte to institute deeper, broader, and more inclusive reforms in government to achieve Rizal's dream of a nation ruled by virtue and with peace and prosperity, including Rizal's dream of a federal republic for the country. In fitting tribute, grateful recognition and profound appreciation of his unparalleled determination to pursue the vision and values of the Knights of Rizal, enshrined in its charter and bylaws, this degree is given, conferred during the 21st International Assembly and Conference this 23rd day of February 2017, Anno Domini at SMX Convention Center, Davao City. Signed, Sir Renato S. Puno Sr., KGCR, Supreme Commander. Attested, Sir Maximo Salazar, KGOR, Supreme Pursuant.
Sir Rodrigo Roa Duterte, KCR, by virtue of the powers vested upon me as a Supreme Commander of the Knights of Rizal, I hereby confer upon you the highest degree of the order, the Knight Grand Cross of Rizal. For and in behalf of all the Knights of Rizal, I congratulate you, Sir Rodrigo Roa Duterte, KGCR, for receiving this honor. And ours is the distinct privilege to confer upon you the highest degree within the gift of the order.
Illustrious Supreme Commander, I now propose that our new Knight Grand Cross of Rizal, Sir Rodrigo Roa Duterte, KGCR, address this assembly.
ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Sir Rodrigo Roa Duterte, the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Thank you, everyone. You may be seated now. Please, you may take your seats. May we call on the Supreme Commander, Sir Renato Puno Sr., to please introduce our guest of honor. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Chief Justice Renato Puno Sr., Supreme Commander, Knights of Rizal, and other members of the Supreme Council, members of the Knight of Rizal, honorable guests, my beloved countrymen. Your conferment upon me today of the Knight Grand Cross of Rizal, the highest degree which the Knights of Rizal could gift any person with, is truly humbling. I must confess, however, that I suffer the sense of inadequacy, knowing that I stand before an assemblage of men who are suffused with patriotic fervor, deeply imbued with Dr. Rizal's ideals and visions, and dedicated to the diffusion of his writings and teachings. Tell me, how does one relate appropriately to such people with lofty credentials? That is the circumstance under which I labor, and I can only hope that I do justice to the award that you bestow upon me today. My friends, when I threw my hat in the presidential ring, I knew that our country was beset with a multitude of problems, some minor, but mostly major. I did not know then how deeply ingrained and enormous those problems were. Nonetheless, and early on, I felt that there must be a meaningful change or reform. With those occupying the highest positions in government. We know what we need or ought to do, but we do not do them because our concept of government is parochial and we cannot rise above our family, ethnic, and clan loyalties. As we push through ourselves to a better Philippines, I recall Dr. Rizal's writing. Thus, I have also written that change or reforms, if they are to bear fruit, must come from the above. For change or reforms that come below are upheavals, both violent and transitory. Perhaps it would be good for us to revisit the wisdom contained in the words of Dr. Rizal, which reverberate from centuries past. To start with, after Rizal published the Noli Me Tangere, he created a lot of enemies. And Father Sanchez of the Society of Jesus, who feared for his life and safety and security, warned him of terrible consequences. He asked Dr. Rizal, "You do not fear the consequences of your boldness?" Rizal answered, "Father, you are a missionary. When you are on a mission, do your duty without fear of consequences. Are you not afraid to? Father Sanchez retorted, that is completely a different thing. Rizal said, not at all, Father. Your mission is to baptize pagans. Mine is to dignify men. In his letter to Resurrection Hidalgo, he said, I have laughed at my misfortunes because nobody wanted to weep with me. These are but two of the countless messages of the wisdom that Dr. Rizal either said or wrote. But these two meaningful outstand because of their simplicity and richness in the meaning and implication. To say that Dr. Rizal was ahead of his time is no empty statement. For instance, my administration has proposed to shift from our governmental structure to a federal system. But it is really nothing new, for in this, the Pilipinas dentro de 100 años, the Philippine Century Sense published at La Solidaridad circa 1989 and 1890. Dr. Jose Rizal saw the merits and the advantages of a federal system of government. No wonder he predicted that the Philippines would probably adopt a federal republic once liberated. For now, we do not need to discuss what these advantages are. That will follow later. Frankly, I hope to see the Knights of Rizal in the forefront of the campaign to shift to the federal type of government. All of us know how Dr. Jose Rizal died, but we do not know how he lived. Men become heroes not so much because they have died, but more so of how they lived. Indeed, Dr. Jose Rizal's life was a heroic struggle to dignify the Filipino. As aptly said by Leon Maria Guerrero, it was when he was commissioned to write a brief of Dr. Jose Rizal's life that he discovered that the way Dr. Jose Rizal died was not so important as the way he lived. And since his life was essentially apostleship, the way he lived was not so much important as what he thought and wrote. One's thoughts revealed in the words, government to one's life. That is how things are. Dr. Jose Rizal is as relevant to us now as he was in this nation during his lifetime. His words echo and re-echo through the years, but sad to say, it seems that we have not profited enough from their wisdom. We need to re-examine our conscience along the lines of Dr. Jose Rizal. Rizal's thoughts, aspirations, and vision, and then decide whether we strengthen the bond that unites us as a people and nation or tear this country apart. Finally, let us not delude ourselves into believing that Dr. Jose Rizal was a faultless being, because he was not. He was mortal like us. Summing up the person that Dr. Jose Rizal was, Leon Maria Guerrero in 1961 award-winning biography of Dr. Jose Rizal entitled The First Filipino. Rizal was not perfect, and he was not always right. But I trust that those who read the story of his life will perceive that his humanity is precisely the secret of his greatness. You can be a Rizal, I can be a Rizal, in our own modest ways and within the limits of our competence and capacities. We can all be Rizals. Thank you, and Good evening to all.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we request the President for a photo opportunity with Sir Renato Espuno Sr. and Sir Lamberto Nangquil in 12 batches. May I call on Batch 1, members of the Supreme Council. Sir Lamberto Nangquil. May I ask the Council of Elders to also gather to the left of the stage. Saan yun?
Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim
Okay.
na kahapon.
All right. On a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, sir.
Di ko mawawala ang korupsyon.
May I now call on the second batch, the Council of Elders. Batch number 3, please ready. Get ready. Batch number 3, please get ready. Canada region. All right.
Hawak kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso.
Okay.
Ikaw at ako,
On a count of 3,
tayong lahat.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May I now call on batch 3 from the Canada region. May I now call on batch 4 to please prepare.
Masdan mo ang paligid. Alam ang mga krimen.